Right, we are live, making a recording for YouTube on the left, Facebook on the right. We are going to be taking a look at some of the races today. I'm going to touch on a couple of interesting horses. Also, I have two for the Patreon service today. There's a 33-1 shot that I'm after coming across that looks very interesting. I'm going to play him, and I have one in Carlisle that's a nice price as well, around 8-1, and looking forward to it. So two really nice bets for the service. Now look, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I believe I found a 33-1 shot that could run a screamer. So I'll leave it at that. I'll say no more on that. Right, on to today. So for the preview, so a couple of other interesting horses. We'll just start with Cork for a minute. And we're going to go with a horse we tipped up the last day on return. But I just want to have a little look at this race. I just see, is it a 12.55? So the 12.55, there's a horse called Mary's Pride. Now Mary's Pride made a return over 2.5 on soft ground. And to be fair, it looked as good as ever for the first kind of 2 mile of the race. She jumped better than, he jumped better than he can, travelled much sweet, but kind of weakened out of it very tamely, down the straight. But I'm prepared to give it the benefit of the doubt that was ridden forward on return over 2.5. I think if it was dropped in today over 2 mile, Keith Donehill takes the ride. So we all know how good Keith is at taking his time. So if Mary's Pride got that kind of ride today, it's really good on the right-handed track. All its form is like Fairy House, Punchestown, stuff like that. And I just feel at around 11 or 12-1, Mary's Pride could be an interesting runner today. And then in the 4 o'clock at Huntingdon, Jack Sprat, another horse I tipped up the last day, but he probably needed the run. He's been very slow to come, this lad, very raw. Rawness in his novice hurdles, I believe, has left him better handicapped now. So I believe the day he does turn the corner, he'll probably be well enough in to win. And he ran the last day in Stratford. He clearly needed the run, and we could see a different horse today in a race where he could be winning. So the 4 o'clock, that is a Huntingdon, Jack Sprat, and right, one other, we're going to go to the Curragh for a minute. I'm going to mention two big, a 40-1 shot and a 33-1 here, but I don't know, maybe, no, actually I won't mention one. I'll just mention the filly, right? I'm going to leave the other one for a minute because I just think he'll be a horse for 2 runs time, so I'll just keep him under wraps for a minute. He's a horse, maybe if he got another run today and another run after that, he'd be ready to fucking rock. Right, I'm just going to touch on the Curragh. There's an interesting mare who was thought much better of. She was thought much better of, but she disappointed. But she's into a handicap today. I'll just pull up the race. Now look, it's tough enough for these 3-year-olds in handicaps. Paris Review, she's 25-1, and she's in the 115 at the Curragh. She was thought to be much better than she managed to show. She ran alright, okay once in Goring, but she's had a break. She's returning, she's into a handicap. Now look, she's lightly raced, and these horses have plenty of experience, so it could be a little bit maybe just next time. She might run well, but at 25-1, she could be worth a bet. There is another horse there, but I'm going to watch him brief. Just note him for now. Right, for the service today, I'm looking at a 33-1 shot. I'm not even going to say where he's running. And I'm looking at a horse at 8-1. 2 bets for the service. If you want them, link to the service all over the channels. Also, just to recap the Breeders' Cup, we had 5 selections at the Breeders' Cup, 3 winners from the 5. Master of the Seas at 3.5 points each way at 6-1. We had 5 points win Augusta Roden. We had 7 points win Unquestionable at 9-4. We did have 2 losers. We did Lemire Rock each way. She was a big price, I thought. Just give her a chance each way. And we done Living the Dream, who just wasn't good enough on the night. Maybe not himself either down the stretch. So yeah, looking forward to today. Like I said, I'm going to have 7 points each way and a 33-1 shot. I think it's even as big as 35-1 in a spot in here on this thing. It could be even 40-1, and I'm going to have 7 points each way on a horse at 8-1 as well. Right, if you want them too, you know where to go for them. Ryan Moore, brilliant on Augusta Roden last night. Frankie Dettori, lads, what a ride on Inspiral. William Buick, Master of the Seas. The reason I tipped up Master of the Seas was just price. It was all about the price. And as I've always said, don't mind a bad draw with a good jockey, because a good jockey will navigate a bad draw, and a bad jockey will turn a good draw into a bad draw anyway. William Buick was going to drop in that horse regardless if he was drawn 1 through 14, and that's what it's about. We'll just mention one more. There's another interesting mare running today. Now, she's in a decent race in Cork, but I thought she was a nice mare. 1 second. She finished right up behind a decent horse. But she's up against 2 nice horses of Gavin Cromwell today, and she did sit off a fast pace. Did I write or no? Right, so the 240 at Cork. Gavin Cromwell seems to have a stronghold on this race, but there's a nice mare in here, 6-year-old. Philip Enright takes the ride. CNC is it? I don't know how to pronounce her name, but she ran a really nice race on return. She's not the most natural over a fence, but they went a real good gallop the last day. She managed to keep enough tabs on them that she could come, but she was a long way behind the pace, but she managed to at least keep herself in the race to give herself a chance. And I just believe that well, I think it is a mare. I might be wrong, but 1 second, I thought she was a mare the last time I looked. Geldon, right, there you go. That's me out the window. Right, I'm sacked. Right, so this is a nice 6-year-old anyway. Ran a really nice race behind the horse of Willie Mullins's, who's ran up a sequence. And I just thought if it jumped more fluent and travelled a bit closer to the pace at 6-1, could make a good straight place bet. I would even look for the 3 places straight place bet with her. I know there's only 7 runners, but you can get it in certain spots. Anyway, that's all for today. Keep following. What a bit of fun we had with the Breeders' Cup. Also tipping up Gentleman's Game on the live stream to turn over Brave Man's Game. So really happy with that. And yeah, looking forward to it. Right, thanks for all the support. Keep following. 2 bets today on the service. 33-1 and 8-1. The 33-1 is risky, but I have a hunch something could be up here. And the 8-1 has a real good profile and could run well. Right, so today we've touched on, is it Cienza to maybe run really well at a price in Cork. In Philip Enright takes the ride. That's in a decent race to the 240. Mary's Pride in the 12.55. In the 4 o'clock, Jack Spratt at Huntingdon. And then the other horse we mentioned in the Curragh. Well, we just got her name again. Paris thing. Anyway, Jessica Harrington's in the 7 furlong handicap. It's had 3 runs and it's into a handicap today. They thought it was much better than this when it first came about. So let's see. All right, keep following Colbert Sports.